Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rise. We're back here on my home turf doing some filming, and guess what? I have a pint-sized vehicle that I think proves big things come in small packages. It's this vehicle right here. This is a 2024 totally redesigned Fiat 500e. But before we get into this pint-sized grocery getter, let's talk about what's going on here. Fiat. They've been selling small-sized vehicles for decades, and they've had great success in many regions around the world, especially those European countries and their home country of Italy. But one thing that's been kind of hit or miss is success here in the United States. Now, you look at Fiat's history, besides making small commuter cars, they've been involved in Grand Prix racing, rally racing with their Abarth series of vehicles, and they really tie in European flair and style with fun driving capability. Now, the 500e, when it was first introduced a few years ago, the CEO of FCA literally said, we're not gonna make any money on these vehicles. We're actually gonna lose money on every single one we sell. And he in a backwards way said that he didn't want people to buy them. This time around, totally different story. We got a new design, totally new electrified platform, and something that may be that perfect recipe, not if you want to go long distance, but if you live in a city like Manhattan, Miami Beach, LA. Is this the better way to go for your electrified commuting, or should you go with Mini and the Cooper electrified, the Mini Cooper electrified? Let's go ahead, let's dive into our Fiat and find out. Right off the bat, it just has this look to it that I want to hug it like a big stuffed animal. The name of the color is not just called red, it's actually called Inspired. See what I did there? Inspired, or I should say, see what Fiat did? Instead of just calling it Inspired, it's Inspired. And it really fits the attitude of the car. Now at the front of the business, you'll see that signature round oval shaped headlight design. We have LED daytime running lamps, LED projector beam headlights, and I like the way that the lighting actually goes into the hood. It's not just one continuous housing like you would find on a Mini. Down below we have more LED lighting with our turn signals, and then you do have, for some reason, some fake vent here. I don't know why they did that. If this was functional, I would really be happy, but I'm gonna have to zonk it. It's got gunmetal metallic gray finish to it, shiny finish. It does give the vehicle that little extra style, but it would have been nice if it actually flowed some air. Everything else is very, very smooth. Now, as we come across the front nose, love the way they did the 500 badge, and they brought these horizontal bars into that top portion. You work your way down, you do have an open grille on the lower portion, all color matched, because we do have a liquid cooled lithium ion battery pack. It's got such a familiar face to it, and like I said, I just want to hug it. I just want to give it a big hug, but let me know what you're thinking about the small design style of this Fiat 500, especially compared to the Mini Cooper EV. Now, as we rise up, you do get a little bit of a bulge into that curved shape hood, very short overhang. But what's fascinating is because this is an EV, it's got a very long wheelbase. So the space between the front wheel and the rear wheel is very, very long because there's a battery underneath it, and you could push those wheels far out. What does that do for you? It helps give you a stable ride, but it's also going to give you a ton of interior volume for passengers and your stuff. Let's talk about wheels. Love this multi-spoke design. There's just something about it. It looks classy. These little machined appointments here, all machined aluminum around the exterior edge. What's the size of this wheel? 17-inch wheel. Tires are 205 on the width, 45 series sidewall, and you do get regen braking, and this is front wheel drive. So the front motor underneath the hood makes it front wheel drive. I like the way it's got the 500 center cap, covers up all the lug nuts. And then another interesting piece of design as we rise up is look at the way we have these little winglets that actually have the Italian tricolori. These illuminate at night, side marker lights. Just the attention to detail that separates it from a lot of other vehicles. You do get color matched on the mirror caps. Flat black along the window frame. No sunroof, which is a little bit of a bummer for me. I think that it should have came with a sunroof, so I am going to zonk it, especially at the price point, but I'm not ready to tell you price yet. Door handles, there's actually no physical handle. You put your fingers underneath and then the door pops open. So that gives you a nice sleek look. The two-door look, I don't know, it just really fits it super well. All red and just a little bit of flat black. You'll notice how they took the 500E badge, put it into the rear quarter glass trim. Love the crisp body line coming into the rear. And then you get a nice long roof spoiler. Like I said, all color matched. It does have an exposed wiper. I'm not gonna zonk it because this is like a signature style to Fiat 500s just in general. I'm glad that they just went red with the badge. Instead of making this white or black, having it all color coded just really makes it clean. You got your LED tail lights, made in Turin, Italy. Love that style. 500E badge looking crisp. And then working our way down, it has a cute booty on it. I'm liking the booty on the back of this Fiat. I know it sounds crazy, but there's just something about this vehicle that's making me smile. Lower bumper area, very, very clean. You have your reverse lights built in. But why don't we go ahead? We talked about the outside. Let's pop the hood and see what the heck is powering this Fiat. All right, guys, we got the hood pop. What's kind of funny is you actually get hood struts to hold open the hood. Underneath that, no internal combustion engine. What do we have going on? You have your electric motor. So it's a single electric motor producing 117 horsepower, 162 pound-feet of torque, makes it front-wheel drive, 0 to 60 in 7.8 seconds. It utilizes a 42 kilowatt hour lithium ion battery pack. Range is 141 miles. The good news is that on a DC fast charger, you could charge 31 miles in just 5 minutes. 31 miles of range. If you leave it on the DC fast charger, you could go from 10% battery charge to 90% battery charge in 50 minutes. It has a top speed of 93 miles an hour, and you're looking at 121 mpges in the city and 100 on the highway. So I really firmly believe that for somebody that lives in the city, like the ones that I mentioned, especially, this really is going to check off so many boxes because of how quickly it recharges. To be able to do those 31 miles in just 5 minutes, 31 miles of range, is pretty stupendous. But why don't we go ahead, let's turn this thing on and see it roll. All right, guys, we are inside, and it wasn't a tight squeeze to get into this 2024 Fiat 500e. I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, this one has me curious. It really does, especially with the fast charge rate. That, to me, seems to be the ticket. How much is it? There's only one way to get it, and this is the only way. So MSRP is $34,975. Let's see what you get for the money to the door panels. I'm gonna have to drop some zonks right away. All of that is just hard, black, plastic. I do like the button that you press to pop the door open, but then you have cloth armrest, which is tough as sandpaper, does not feel good. Door pocket down below, you could get 2 big bite 7-Eleven hot dogs in there, and a nice super big gulp Make Mine Code Red Mountain Dew. But the problem is the amount of hard black plastic. Now going from the door panel to the dash, it gets a little bit better. I like the way they brought the red into the interior. I just wish they put some of this on the door panels. Hard as an Italian rock. I do like the gunmetal gray finish. It's better than just black. But as you slide on in, you have that 10.25-inch infotainment system screen. It's a floating iPad style. easy to get to. It's got the Uconnect 5 system. Really nice on all the different ways to access the menus. Go into your vehicle settings. You can see the power flow. There's the battery pack in the belly of this thing. Your AC charging level. Really, really nice, intuitive design. You can even shut the screen off to save extra battery power. To me, that's very, very smart. And then we get right back to navigation, wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto. Let me go ahead and throw it into reverse. There's our backup camera. It's clear and you have trajectory. I just wish it took up all 10.25 inches. My dad used to tell me as a kid, son, if you have 10.25 inches, you want to use it all because you're very blessed. And I really think that that's what he's talking about with this screen, is that we have a 10.25 inch screen, but it only takes up like 8 inches of the screen. That doesn't make sense to me. Toggle switches with your AC controls, wireless charging, USB-A. You got your start, stop button. What's funny is it says engine start, stop. I don't know if anybody at Stellantis was told that this does not have an engine. So that's kind of funny that they use that. These piano keys here are not to play music, but to actually put your Fiat 500e into a certain direction. Park, reverse, neutral, drive. Lots of freed up space here, but look at what we got. Hocus pocus alakazam, cup holder for a super big gulp, and then that hides away. You do have a volume knob, your electric e-brake, and then your different e-modes. I'll show you that on the driver's side. You got a large nook here, USB-C, USB-A, 12 volt, and you got a place to put a purse, a merce, a sack, a satchel. Hell, you can even put a 5-pound bag of Duracells. The copper top, baby. Put that right there. This does open up into a very interesting storage place. I would say you could probably put about 5 Capri Suns in there. Just don't lose the straws. I used to hate that. Sometimes I would open up my lunchbox and there was no straw in it. So how the hell am I supposed to drink my Capri Sun? I remember I used to like take a pencil and a pen. I used to bite it with my teeth, dying of thirst. Here's your key fob. Sort of looks like a alien suppository, like some other key fobs that we know about. But it's nice just to have the simple buttons. I think I like the keychain better than the key fob. You tell me. Cloth, not liking it. The good news is if you have like a wart or some dry skin, you can actually scrape it off. And what's nice is this slides. Oh, there we go. Just a little bit. So if you're more like this, or if you're more like this, you get to choose how you want to chill. Seats, more cloth, but they actually look good with the 500 badge. Love the way, look, it says Fiat, 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 Fiat. That's what it says, but it looks like a design. The piping is nice. Manual controls for the passenger. Manual controls for the driver as well. But why don't you come over here to the business end? I got a flat bottom steering wheel that I want to show you. Come on over. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel. What's great about this being a two-door is look at how much room you have to get in and out. Once you're in like Flynn. There's tons of space in here. I'm 6 feet tall. I could grow another almost foot and I'd still feel comfortable in here. Seats are comfy. I just wish they weren't cloth. Even like a faux leather I would go with. Steering wheel though has got leather, 2-piece. Love the stitching, the red 500 badge. You do have gloss black on the switchgear. It is a manual tilting and telescoping steering wheel, which is good. And then you have an 8-inch digital gauge cluster. Now, what's great about it is that it shows your battery charge and your range, but then it also will allow you to scroll through different information, a cornucopia. Here's what your home screen looks like. Let me take you back right there. That shows you your power gauge, your charge gauge, and then you do have the different E-modes. So E-modes, range, normal, and Sherpa. Sherpa is when you really need to make sure that range lasts. It even shuts off the AC. So something to think about when you're choosing your different modes. I love the full color digital gauge cluster. Before we get into the cargo area, I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna do it just for you. Let's get in the back seat of this 500e and see what the hell it's like. All right, guys, it's Smurf time back here. Papa Smurf, Brainy Smurf. This is a great place to sit if you're trying to hide from Gargamel. But sitting back here, I mean, like I said, with this being a city commuter, I'm not going to drive from LA to South Dakota. That's just not going to happen. But I may go from a coffee shop to a restaurant for lunch, and this is doable. I'd rather sit up front, but if I have to, I'll take one for the team. I'll sit in the back, pretty close to the headliner. I am kind of feeling like I need to just like slouch a little forward, but it works. It'll get me there. It's just not the best. My advice is take the shorter people in your life and have them sit back here. But why don't we go ahead, let's get into that cargo area because I want to take you for a spin in this 500e. All right, guys, cargo area time. Hit the button. It doesn't have electric assist, but it's so easy to just flip up the hatchback. Underneath there, you have almost 20 cubic feet of space. It's crazy how much room, not only for people, but how much room for your stuff, even with the rear seats up. Of course, the rear seats, you push the button and they'll fold down, 50-50 split to maximize the space. But I think one of the key features to take away here is how tall it is. So you can get those taller items back here without a problem. Plus, underneath is where you find all your charging accessories nicely stored, nicely nestled. But why don't we go ahead? You got a little tether here. Pull that down. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go get a cappuccino in our 500e. All right, guys, we're inside this 2024 Fiat 500e. And right away, it's amazing how much room there is in this car. With its small size, two-door, still a ton of room in here. And obviously, being in an electric vehicle, having the very flat floor, having the wheelbase be very, very long, where those wheels are pushed out to all four corners, really opens up the space here. And it's just funny because I've actually enjoyed driving this over the past week that I've had it. It's just, as an EV, it makes sense going this route. Something that is a daily commuter, you live in the city, you're not driving it long distance because it charges so quickly. Even on a home power source, a 240, a 120, it is crazy just how quickly it charges. Obviously on a DC fast charger, to get 31 miles of range in 5 minutes, that's really, really fantastic. I'm gonna go ahead and come to a complete stop. The charge gauge shows that regen braking, and if you're ready, I'm ready. On throttle. So, obviously not gonna beat a Lucid Air, Sapphire, or a Tesla Model S Plaid, but it's got enough pep to it to where you're not getting passed by minivans. And obviously with the instant torque, it feels quicker than what it is. And it's just, I don't know, for the type of vehicle that it is, just comparing it for what it is, it really does its job very, very well. Visibility out the front is fantastic, out the back. And the crazy thing is, this car was already nimble as it was, being a Fiat 500. But watch this, when you go into a turn, it handles really, really well because of that lower center of gravity. So you literally have a go-kart for the road because of how nimble this thing is. Suspension is a little bit on the sportier side of things. So it does get a little bouncy, but for the speed that you're gonna be doing driving around town, I don't think that's gonna be an issue. Getting to that 10.25-inch infotainment system screen is well within reach. You got the Uconnect 5, navigation, wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto. I love the feel of the steering wheel, and it's just cute. I just wanna hug it. I just wanna hug it like I wanna hug my dog, Oscar. But they did a great job on the sound deadening material. They did a great job on keeping it quiet in the cabin. It's fascinating because when the cooling fan is on for the lithium-ion battery pack, it almost sounds like an ICE-equipped Fiat 500. But you got room in the back for short drives for even taller people. Wireless charging. I just wish for the price point, some of these finishes were a little bit nicer. The door panels, like I said, hard as a rock. I hate putting my arm on it because it hurts my damn elbow. Seats are comfortable. I just wish they weren't cloth. And I definitely wish this armrest, this center armrest, was not cloth, because that's gonna look nasty within a couple months. Especially, like I said, if you have some type of mole or something like that on your elbow, you're gonna start to shave it off on that armrest. But everything else is very, very well organized in this car. And even though I can't believe I'm saying it, and I'm not trying to sound like a sellout, I feel like EV for this vehicle makes total sense. EV for larger vehicles, to me, does not make sense. All right, guys, here we go, on throttle. It does put a smile on your face, just the way it looks, the way it drives. Just very, very unique vehicle. And I thought, like I said, I thought I was gonna hate this car, but there's just something that just makes me smile. And here we are getting onto the highway just to show that, hey, if you need to get, like say you live, they launched this vehicle, they did the media drive, which unfortunately we were not able to attend because we were already double booked for another media event. But if you're down in Miami Beach and you need to get somewhere, maybe go across Alligator Alley or something like that, you could do it in this car. I mean, I'm doing highway speeds. I got 99% charge right now, which gives me 141 miles worth of range. And like I said, wherever you're going, I mean, even if you're not gonna try to stop and charge at an actual charging station, you could plug this in at work on a extension cord, and you're still gonna get some of that range back very, very quickly. Now there is a bit of wind noise, but other than that, it's really smooth sailing in this thing. And I like the way they brought some of the red from the outside into the interior. I just wish they would have done that a little bit more. Of course, you're gonna get all your safety features that you're familiar with on Stellantis vehicles. But I really feel like if this car was about $5 grand cheaper, it would be a slam dunk. I'm a little edgy about the MSRP of being $35,000, especially with what else is available at that price point. But if you're looking for something unique, something that handles well, and for an EV does its job very, very successfully, I think you definitely got to give one of these 500Es a drive, because it's going to surprise you. I mean, that's the bottom line. It's going to surprise you. But is it perfect? No, it's not. Not even close to perfect. But it's fun. But I'm hoping that this has been a good overall review of what this 500E is packing. A lot of big stuff in a small package. We're gonna get back to where it all started and wrap this one up. So I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, it's been an electrifying day with this 2024 Fiat 500E. We want to thank everybody over at Stellantis for getting us access to this vehicle. Let me know what you think. Does it make sense to have a vehicle like this available for people that live in certain situations where it's not about the size of the vehicle nor the range, it's about the quickness of getting it recharged and having a lot of room in a small size package? Let me know if you're going Fiat 500e or Mini Cooper EV. But if you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raised Reds family. Got to give it up. Lori Rady, she's having a blast with this car. She's having a blast capturing all the vehicles on that camera of hers. Show her some love in the comment section. Thank you, Lori, for busting your butt. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.